Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Church of New Hope. Good to have you here in the house of the Lord. I'm Pastor Joel, and I know we have a lot of folks who are visiting with us today. It's clearly a different kind of a day. We've had our Vacation Bible School all this week. Tremendous time. I lost my voice by Friday night, shouting as loud as all the kids. And we're just really excited to have one more loud morning of proclaiming that God is wild about you. That's been our theme. You'll hear more about this as we go. And just in case you're a little uncomfortable with this casual setup, I did bring a tie that I thought would match. So if that makes you feel any better, there we go. And you know, I wondered, it has sat in my box for 5 years, would I ever find a use for this tie? And I finally have. A little bit later in our service, we're going to have a chance to welcome our visitors, but I do want to recognize one very special family that's with us, friends of mine that go back some 30 years. I'd like to introduce to you the Bob and Colleen Smith family. Would you raise your hands, Bob, Colleen? And they actually occupy the whole row. And there's one more to go who's not with us. Bob and Colleen have 6 children. Their oldest is Bobby, who is starting at a wonderful university south of here called Malone University. And he'll start studying in the fall, and he'll be doing music technology, engineering in that field. In fact, they are a family of musicians and singers and worship leaders. Would you like them to come on August 16th and provide an offertory song for us? What do you think? All right. It's a done deal, right? And Bob and I came into the Lord together about 30 years ago. We came into Pentecost together, and then we went on through ministry. And Bob has served the Assemblies of God and the Foursquare Church as a pastor. And we've kind of caught up now, these 30 years later. He's been working harder than me. He has 6 kids, I have 2. But I know you've been a busy man all these years. But Bob, would you kindly introduce your family to us today? Yeah. Rebecca. Yeah. Aaron. Okay. Ethan. Leah. All right, let's give him a hand. All right, thank you. You remember, how many of you have seen The Sound of Music at some point? Remember they call them all, you know, Hans, and they blow the whistle, step up, and Gretel, or whatever the names are there in The Sound of Music. We'll have to do that for you. Do you have that? Do you have a whistle at home to get to call it by? You're working the whistle. And the rest of you, we welcome as well. A little bit later on, Pastor Jeremiah will welcome you, and so on and so forth. But are you ready to get wild today, as our theme has been this whole week? I'd like us to, in the midst of the fun and the laughter that we're sharing today, of course, we always recognize the holiness of God in our midst. And I'd like for us to begin our time together with prayer. So, would you join with me and let us go before the Lord and ask His blessing upon our time? Remember, we're having a picnic following the service this morning. Everyone's invited. We have plenty of food out over here in our pavilion area, games, and then the sliming of Mr. Mark, whom I'll introduce to you in just a moment. Join with me and let us pray. Our great